What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Uncalled for. I guess it'd be -1.
Uncalled for -1.
Uncalled for -1.
-1 because John is having to take care of
dead.
his kid. Yeah,
He's dead.
He died, and actually Tim died as well.
Yep,
so
they're both gone.
we are down 2 from last week. So this is going to be a little bit different. We're still going to do 4 topics. Everything's going to be the same, just like we do every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Twitch, and then uploading to YouTube weekly, where we get together and just talk about nonsense, I guess, for the most part, or some serious stuff, some funny stuff, but it just seems like it's nonsense a lot of the time,
It's nonsense.
which I like, though.
That's nonsense.
Unless we're talking about birds, and then we get real deep.
Yeah,
That's
truth.
true.
Truth.
That's very true. So I think what we're going to do then is we'll just start off with Dan. You know, Dan, what you didn't tell me what your topic was, and I am kind of curious. He led off before with Jordan won't be able to talk much during this, so I don't know what it's going to be.
I mean, you can talk plenty, you just won't care probably that much.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
As you know, you probably don't. You find people out there, but me and Weston are big fans of the comic books and the superheroes and the movies that have them in it. So, big MCU fans. I appreciate the DCU too. But one seems to outpace the other in quality.
Leaps and bounds.
Why is that?
Okay, so that's a discussion.
How you doing, Jordan?
Oh, I'm doing great. So my first thought was immediately when you say MCU, I wanted just to piss people off and say, are you talking about the Muppet Cinematic Universe or the Minecraft universe? And either one of those two.
Muppets,
The
totally.
Muppet
totally,
Cinematic
totally
Universe.
Muppets.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm pretty sure we're talking about Minecraft here, aren't we?
Yeah, that one too.
Could be either one.
Especially when we're discussing DC in comparison.
That is true. That is true.
You know?
Actually, I can kind of have opinions on this because
You can. You've seen a few that we've dragged you to.
I've seen a few movies, yeah. So I can talk a little bit, but not near as much as these two. So overall, yes, Marvel is way better, but I think DC actually has the best movies. When you think about The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, I love those.
We're not talking about Nolan. That's
that's
completely separate.
That'd be DC though.
Yes, but it's not in the
part
same
of the DCU
instance of
So they changed the whole
extended
universe
cinematic
then?
universe.
So the Dark Knight trilogy is kind of its own sub-universe, if you will, like its own dimension of it. It's a pocket of DC. The DCU and how I'm understanding here is going to be more like the Justice League, the Superman or Man of Steel, I think is what it's technically going to be referred to as, and the Wonder Woman, and those that actually tie together in that cinematic universe.
Okay.
So.
Yep. So we're not talking about Nolan because we could go. That's a whole different conversation.
Okay, well then I'm gonna be real. I have not seen any of the DC movies that you guys are gonna be
That's
talking
okay.
about.
A lot of them are garbage. So
I know I have in the closet right here. I have all the Dark Knight trilogy on Blu-ray.
As you
Absolutely love
should.
it. My favorite movie series,
Fantastic.
possibly ever. I mean,
Space Jam.
I said movie series.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's either because Space Jam is my favorite movie, and then we have for series it's either Star Wars or the Dark Knight trilogy because they're both just fantastic. And then I think one of my other favorite movies would be The Other Guys, which is just flawless. But that's not part of this conversation at all, so we'll stay out of this.
Moving on.
So, one thing I will say is, while the DCU does pretty much suck, to say the least, now it does have a few good movies in there. But as a whole, I think what their problem is the way Marvel started off. They started out by building up each character individually, made you actually have some level of concern for them, you understood them, and then they put them together. With the DCU, they kind of slapped them all together and then threw them out at you. And you don't really care about them as individuals unless you've already read the comics. And even then, these specific iterations of them, I didn't really care about them when the movie came out. You know, it's like, so this is the current Flash. I had never had any experience with this Flash before from the Justice League movie. And it's like, do I like this one or not? I don't know. I have to decide while trying to decide whether I like all the other characters at the same time. With the Avengers movie, I already knew each of the central characters before I got there. I had some understanding of them, their abilities, how they actually factored together into this.
They had origins before.
Exactly. And so I actually cared about each of them during that movie. DC, they're going backwards.
You
It's like
started with your team movie before you got your origins, and it kind of threw people off.
It threw me a lot off.
Yeah.
Like, I knew the characters before, but not these specific characters or iterations of them. So
That makes sense. Yeah, that I get that. Because I know, since we can't talk about the Dark Knight trilogy, I haven't seen the new ones because I've just heard that they're not good. So like,
That's all right.
Justice League, I heard no one liked it. There's a few people here and there that liked it. I can't say
It
nobody
wasn't-
because
it wasn't
there's always
good.
gonna be that one person that's watching. Well, I liked it, so
Although
you
the
can't
Schneider
say no
cut
one.
was much better.
I actually have that on my computer. I just haven't.
I think it's actually worth watching.
I
the
just
Schneider
haven't
cut,
had the
for
time
sure.
to sit down for 4 hours and watch it yet.
But yeah,
But I know, like with Marvel, that it did help with the origin story stuff, and even then, like for Avengers, there's a lot of characters because I'm not huge into comic books. I mean, you guys know me well enough.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy movies when I sit down with friends and watch them, but it's not something I'm going to do on my own. And so when we got together, it was every Friday, right? For a while, we watched a lot of the Marvel movies, so I watched quite a few of them then.
yeah, we watched them
And-
all in order up until Endgame.
Yeah, and so I didn't see all of them. I had to miss a few weeks. So I mean, I've seen quite a few of the Marvel movies now, and they were all just so good. Like you were saying, they were fantastic. I've never heard almost never have heard a bad thing about them. Everyone's
Sure.
like, yeah, it's great. You
good.
you gotta, like, you have to see this, you have to see that, because this is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome, and it introduces all those characters. So once I went and saw, I guess it'd be Infinity War was the
one
first-
before Endgame.
Yep.
yeah, that was the one I saw then, and I was actually, I think I actually saw that first, and then went back and watched it because we went as a big group, and then I watched all the Marvel movies, and then Endgame is when I watched them all before Endgame. So I actually appreciated Endgame a heck of a lot more than Infinity War because I knew who people were. I still haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy though.
Nick would be very disappointed in
I
you.
still-
most assuredly.
I still have not seen that.
That's all right. We'll remedy that sometime.
We will. We
But
will.
That's definitely a good point of the origins first before team movie before origins. But I think there's a lot more that we can discuss and why. There's some of the obvious stuff. I think the writers and the vision at Marvel is just so much better than what's going on at the DC side of things. I think DC saw a cash cow and they wanted in on it. They had their own side of things they could have done, and they just jumped in trying. They thought it'd be easy, and they wanted the money. They didn't necessarily.
They didn't care about the universe.
Yeah, I guess. I think they were ahead of themselves. They made movies before they understood what they wanted. The end goal was for the universe. I think Marvel with Kevin Feige has a vision and knows what he wants, and had years and years and years and years down the line knowing what he wants.
Yeah.
And that worked out very well for the Marvel side. I also think that Marvel knows its fans and audience a lot better than DC does. I think it gives care to its fans more than DC does.
Now this is completely random, but who owns Marvel and who owns DC? Does Disney own one of them?
Disney owns Marvel.
Marvel.
now.
They own
Yeah.
Marvel, and then DC would be Fox?
Warner Brothers?
Is it Warner
Warner
Brothers?
Brothers usually makes
I
them.
think
Okay.
Fox is now under DC as well, or not DC, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
Marvel and Disney got
Okay.
Fox. So
Okay. So do you think? Obviously, then I mean, Warner Brothers is kind of. No, they used to do all the like cartoons, like Looney Tunes and stuff, right? Like that was all them. So. Do you think they're more of a comedy thing than a serious movie, and that might have something to do with it?
I don't know about that, but I will say this: the DC animated movies are
we're going to
phenomenal.
get into that one, but
So
we're going to get into that
that's
one.
a different.
But
That's a
we're
different
we're
brand.
strictly
but-
just talking about
So
the
they
live action
suck at
movies
live
right
action.
now.
Yeah, really.
But yes, that's fantastic, and that's another point that I was going to get into. The DC's animated TV shows and films are fantastic. Check them out if you are interested in any of that stuff. But
But for keeping to live action.
yeah. Even, I don't know. I read this article. I can't remember. It was from a director. I don't know if it was Tim Miller or someone else talking about why DC didn't work and Marvel did in live action movies and film. And he said that the heroes just weren't made for TV and movie in DC.
So they were just made more for comic book then.
Like, think about it. I don't know. I mean, you don't know how much you totally know about comic book characters and stuff, Jordan, but DC is really overpopulated with the alien side of things, and it's super beyond greater than life, bigger than life, like heroes. You know Superman, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome.
They're not.
And Superman 64, one of the best games ever. Kidding, but no, anyways.
But they're not all that relatable to the normal person. What's the real big one that is? Batman?
Yeah.
And you notice that he's done well.
And that's why the Dark Knight trilogy is one of the best movie
Yes.
series ever made.
Not just because it's Batman, but Nolan came with an idea.
His vision was great.
His vision was to make this more realistic.
Yeah.
That this could actually, I mean, if you had this crazy billionaire with all this stuff going on, that's a genius. This could actually happen in the world. 1 in a million chance, but it could,
Yeah.
That's why not everyone's flying around with superpowers and stuff
Now,
in the Nolan trilogy. But
But are you arguing then that Marvel universe that could happen? Like I feel like if you're gonna say that about the Batman stuff, you almost have to say it. And I get Iron Man, rich billionaire genius, but
I'm saying that the Marvel characters in general are just more relatable to people.
Well, and I'm going to say this. I actually look at the characterizations themselves, not just the powers and abilities, but how they've actually designed the characters themselves, their backstories, their personalities, their flaws. Look at Superman. What are his actual flaws, really?
a rock.
I mean, but yeah, like, look at his personality, though. What are his actual flaws, besides the fact that he's too perfect to be himself, really? And he's kind of naive. That's kind of his great weakness.
His only limits are those that he's put on himself.
Exactly. And it's like, how does that...
He's literally God. Like, you can't do anything against him.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it fun to watch someone who doesn't even struggle with anything? Like,
Because the special effects in the movies are cool.
I mean, I love Man of Steel. It's actually a pretty good movie.
I did
It
see
is,
Man of
but-
Steel. I went to the drive-in theater and I saw it
It's actually a
there.
pretty good movie. But
But
now when I look at Marvel, okay, right here, Marvel poster boy, Spider-Man. He's my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man was the first Marvel character to come out and really have real-world issues, human issues. He was
Yeah.
Spider-Man. He was this, bigger-than-life character who gave his everything to save people for the greater good,
Yeah.
with great responsibility, or with great power, great responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
But he was also Peter Parker, and he struggled with getting rent. He struggled with making it on time to school and passing classes. He struggled with all of his relationships and jobs and all of that stuff.
Yeah, he was not very, very good pizza delivery
All
boy.
because he gave that up because he knew Spider-Man was needed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Pizza time.
give me rent.
And then you look at that's actually true of most all of the Marvel heroes. They
To an
all
extent,
have
yeah.
those quirks that are relatable. But I see a lot of the DC heroes that
Dang
are
right,
just...
I'm a Spidey kid. Sorry.
But yeah, I look at DC and I don't see a lot of that. I see a lot of Superman. I see Martian Manhunter. I see the
Green Lantern, Wonder
Green
Woman.
Lantern. Really, probably, I would say the most relatable character in DC is Batman, and even
sure.
then, he's hard to connect with at certain levels. Now, he remains my favorite superhero, but I will be the first to concede that I think Marvel's heroes are better designed.
I mean,
from a character
I sometimes
perspective.
feel like I relate to the Joker pretty well.
Ha, ha, ha.
Jerk.
Moving on. But yeah, and you said even Batman's a little hard to relate. I think that's because
I mean,
Batman is his true self, not Bruce Wayne.
Exactly.
But moving on, I guess that's just my thoughts. You can agree, you can disagree, but Marvel just works more for the cinema side of things. DC just, I don't know, it's too unrealistic.
And
No, I get
That's
it.
a very vague term, but
You
you know
know-
what I'm
And I
saying.
think that's part of why it does better in the animated movies.
Yeah.
Is because of its extremity.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of a weird point of view on it as well, but like when I saw Man of Steel, I was like,
Sure.
okay, this movie is awesome. All the special effects were super cool. But I couldn't help but think, I almost feel like went out of his way when they made that movie to make the end fight a lot more dramatic than it needed to be. Because I think about how many billions of dollars of damage they caused and how many hundreds of thousands of people they murdered in that end fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was that necessary or was that just for the
What else would happen though? It's Superman.
Well, no, I get it, but it was like I almost feel like with two guys that could survive in space, they probably could have been like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna lift you up here and we're gonna fight up there away from all these people.
Yeah,
I don't remember the movie too well.
When one has the same powers and has no care, and the other one does, what do you get? But you also have to ask yourself after that, where do you go from there?
Mm-hmm.
Superman, literal god, facing Zod, literal god.
Yeah,
where do you go from there? You can't step up and up and up with that kind of stuff, and that's why it's so hard.
Yeah, I mean you're right.
That's why there was issues with Captain Marvel in the Marvel MCU. Because she's like Superman right now. She has to be depowered, and she has to have issues.
See, I heard there was a lot of issues with Captain Marvel,
so,
not just that.
We're not getting into that.
That's an entirely different conversation.
And that's why they couldn't do that much with her, in the later films, because it'd be too easy.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. We got new phases of the Marvel cinematic universe coming out, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know. It's just an interesting topic.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. So
I'm gonna kind of just we can move on to mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Dan's because mine actually is movie related as well, and this is a perfect segue for it. So do you remember now that movie theaters are opening back up? I was thinking about this, with COVID being basically, I want to say over, but here in the U.S. or here in Iowa, it's like it doesn't even exist anymore. So movie theaters are opening back up, and I was thinking just some things that I was thinking about going to movies and how annoying some people can be in the theater. So for instance, you brought up Captain Marvel when she showed up in Endgame. When it seemed like every single woman in the theater stood up and started just screaming, that kind of ruined the whole part of the movie for me. When you get the whole theater erupting into applause. So my question is for you guys, since you're both huge movie buffs, what are your biggest pet peeves for movie theaters? What are the things that people do? Do you think clapping at all is appropriate for a theater? Because I don't think it is. I think maybe at the end of the movie, but when people are in the middle of the movie, in the middle of the action thing, just stand up and they start clapping, they start hooting and hollering, that drives me insane. Because I want to go watch the movie, I want to sit in a dark room, I want to eat snacks, I want to drink my pop, and I just want to enjoy it for what it is, right? I don't want other people making noises and ruining the whole experience for me.
There's a layer of etiquette that is deserved when watching a movie, I think. I don't know. For those that know me, I love movies. Going to the theater, watching movies that I love is one of my favorite things in this world. I love movies so much.
Yeah.
Especially those that I care about, which, like the MCU, that's 21 movies of build-up.
They made that many Muppet movies?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty extensive.
Kermit's my favorite.
Kermit caused 9/11, but that's a discussion for a whole nother day.
That's true. John said that earlier in chat, I think. But it's really tough to say because it depends on the circumstances, the event, I guess, of the movie, what movie you're watching sometimes. But in general, I think you need to be respectful to others that are there watching, Yeah. If it's only you, sure, whatever. If there's others, you have to, submit a little bit to being just a generally, good etiquette.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that in general, those that talk during the movie deserve their place in the seventh ring of hell. So, sorry, that's a little harsh.
No, I get it.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Because the most recent example, I guess, that I have is I went to see the newest Star Wars movie. It was The Rise of Skywalker, right? That was the last one. I actually thought that was an all right movie. The end of it was not the final end scene, but
so
the
much
end.
Wrong with
the
it,
end battle was really cool. But
whatever,
anyways, that's the entire movie.
Yeah,
the whole movie. There was a group of high schoolers that were sitting just across the aisle from me, and the whole time, I don't know if this is a general thing with high schoolers or if it's just specific to the group that was there. It seems like I see it a lot here. They always think they need to be the loudest one in the room.
Obnoxious.
To get the attention of those around them and try to out yell their friends. And so the whole movie, I wanted, like, my sister was sitting with this group, and I just wanted to be like, would you guys shut up? Because honestly, like, the whole time they are just, oh my god, oh, I can't believe it, oh, did you see that? It's like, yeah, we saw it, we're watching this with you, so we saw it, you know. It's like, we're not blind. But it was to the point where I wanted to say something, because the whole movie,
You should have.
Because you paid money to be there and have a decent experience.
Like, with a comedy movie, I get it. You know, laugh with the people in the theater. That's different. So I'm not going to say anything about that. You know, when I went to the other guys, I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. And there's a few movies that I've been to in theaters where I am laughing so hard, I am literally crying. Like, it's just so funny. And other people in the theater, you know, we're sharing that experience together. And that's one thing when you're laughing. But, you know, if we're watching a movie and I'm like, oh my god, Weston, did you see that? You know, I'm like,
I will turn around and I will punch you if you do that to me.
See, and that's one of those things, it drives me absolutely insane. Because I can think of Star Wars, and I can think of when we went and saw Endgame, and even Infinity War, people did it there. You know, they would, like, people, oh no, like, just screaming in the theater.
And we'll get into that one a little bit too. But, like, those kids you're talking about, those kids aren't there to watch a movie. They're just there to hang out with friends and be obnoxious. So
yeah.
That's, I don't think they should be in the movie in the first place. But,
it's almost like there should be
whatever you want.
There should be like an adult theater and a kids theater,
right.
And like, you know, you have to separate.
That's like when you go to a kids movie, that you got to expect that, you know,
Yeah.
that's a kids movie with kids.
Yeah.
So, but when you go to say you went to Endgame, right?
Yeah.
With us.
Yeah.
I understand, like, some of the emotions, some of the gasps, the crying, if there was people crying, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of them, you know, some cheers once in a while, because that was such an event after 21 movies of you know, falling in love with these characters and stuff. That was like the pinnacle of it right there, you know, the last hurrah. So I get there's some emotion going on, and I can respect that. But it's tough because I actually want to hear the dialogue too.
Yeah, that's another
when
thing.
that happens during a scene and you miss, like, you know, 20 seconds of dialogue, that bothers me because I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
But
well, because, like, with the prime example, like I said with Endgame, you know, when Captain Marvel shows up and all those people were screaming, like, I get that there wasn't too much dialogue after that. Like, you know, there was just kind of them running for a little bit and fighting. So, like, it's not like you were missing much dialogue, but it took away from the feel of the movie when you get all these people that stand up and they start clapping and screaming and, like, just cheering. And I get the crying, you know, but you can do it silently. Like, when you cry, you don't need
go
to
overboard.
You
for
don't
sure.
need to sob and, like, you know, make the fact that you're crying known to everyone in the
You
theater.
don't have to scream and all that stuff, you know.
And
but,
so
like, it's like I said, it's situation by situation basis. But there's basic ethics that I think that you should kind of, you know, take into consideration.
Yeah.
And just, you know, be respectful to everyone else that watching the movie.
Most assuredly. I don't know.
Sure.
And it also depends on, have you seen the movie before, or are you going a second time?
Right.
Who are you going
Is it
with?
opening night?
Like, if it's opening night, you better be freaking respectful to everybody else, because everybody's there to see that, hopefully. Those are usually the ones that are the most excited for it, so that's when you should be the most respectful for it, I think. At the same time, though, you should always be respectful, of course.
Yeah.
But also, like, there have been times when I've gone with, say, Hannah, and I remember there's one time she was sitting next to me and she would ask me questions as we would watch.
Yeah.
If I'm going with somebody like that, I know I'm going to get asked questions, and I'm going to try to help them. I get it.
But that's when you
that's
go
a mindset.
That's when
before
you
I
go
walk in.
once before, and then you go once with them. Like, you go and you enjoy it yourself first, and then you go with somebody else. And because, I mean, I can even, you know, let's say even a cell phone rings, right? Like, that, I understand. Like, I forgot to shut my cell phone off places.
Sure.
So I mean, that's an accident. That one, you know, you can't get too mad at that. Like, yes, it's bad etiquette to not turn your phone off in a theater, like turn it down, or even check your phone in the theater. You know, whatever. I don't care about that as much, though, because, like I said, I've done it. You know, my phone has gone off in a movie theater.
Yeah, I get it.
It happens,
Accidents
you know.
happen.
So, like, the accident stuff, I can't be mad at, but it's, like I said, it's when the people are screaming or when the people are, like, cheering. And I'm like, you realize, and my whole thing is with the clapping, especially, even at the end of the movie, I'm like, they can't hear you. Like, they don't know you're clapping. So, like, why?
It's not for them. I understand, like, at the end of the end game, people clapping. You know, they're excited. They, you know, witnessed all of this occur. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. But if it's at the end of the movie, I don't really care too much if they clap.
I don't really care either, but I just don't see the point of it. Like, if
Sure.
it's a live action, like, theater performance,
That
then
would
by
make
all
sense.
means,
That
you're
would make
supposed
sense.
to.
Well,
That is
yeah, I mean,
etiquette to do
yeah,
so. But
yeah.
for a movie where there is no responsiveness, like, your enthusiasm, your how you're feeling at that point, it doesn't affect how the actors are going to perform at this point in time.
Yeah.
It's like during a live performance, yes, that does change the actor's
Absolutely.
performance in massive ways. But for a movie, like, yeah, I get that you have a response to it because you should have
Sure.
a response. If they're doing good storytelling, good acting, and the movie is well made, it should draw out a response from you.
See, I feel like the response
But-
though should be outside the theater because I mean, like I said, they're not going to
No.
hear you clapping. I know every movie I've been to, like for Marvel wise, you know, so which I will admit has not been many in theaters, but it seems like there's always clapping at the end, and I don't get it. So I want to
I
know.
remember clapping is Infinity War and Endgame.
I remember for those, I really don't remember it a whole lot other than that
But-
as well.
It depends on the person. I think the clapping is a lot of the times is for themselves, which take that for what you will.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Just be respectful in the theater. It's
not that hard.
It's not a big issue to deal with.
Yeah.
Just,
So
you know,
is there anything else then that just kind of bugs you guys in theaters then?
when they're on their phone the entire time.
Okay.
They don't even look up at the screen. Like, why are you there? Like, go home.
See, I get that as well.
One of them that gets me is I've had people who would get up to go off and get more food or to go to the bathroom, and they just stop and start watching the movie while they're kind of
While they're
between
standing
places.
in the aisle.
Yes, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's just it annoys me because then my eyes are distracted to that individual, and I keep like having to fight between where my focus is.
Yeah.
You know, so I hate it if somebody gets up and then they just stop while they're going. It just it kills me. You know.
Yeah.
This is just me. But probably my biggest pet peeve is those that walk in after the movie started.
Oh, they show up late.
I cannot stand it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weird, but I love the movie so much. I want to be there for the entire experience. If I miss the first 10, 15 minutes, like,
What's
no,
the
I'm not
point?
going to go then.
Yeah. No, I get that. You wait till the next showing and go to that
I'm
one.
also weird. I even want to watch the trailers, but
I'm actually the same way. I want to be
Right.
there from
I
the
get
very
that.
first
So-
point. Now I can accept people coming in during the trailers.
yeah,
But
yeah.
once the actual movie starts, I agree. It annoys me
Like,
to
just
see
stay
Now,
that.
home
when you
and go
say
next-
during
go
the
the next day.
trailers, I gotta ask because it always seems like there's two sets of trailers. There's one that they play while the lights are on, and then they dim the lights. They start different trailers usually, right? And then they go into the movie. So when you say the trailers, do you mean the ones like while the
the
lights are?
previews with the lights
Actual
dim.
cinematic previews that come on when the lights are off.
Okay, so you don't care if people walk in during that point, then, obviously. So
I'm not a huge.
I would recommend no.
don't have
That's
a
just
huge
personal
issue,
preference to me, but
I still think everybody
Okay.
should be there from point A.
but
from
once
when the lights go down till they
it's
come
fine.
back up.
But once the
Okay.
movie's actually starting, like,
I
you
just
should
wanted-
be in your seat. Because
Even
it-
then, I can't always just say it's when the lights come back up because I remember when Marvel was first coming out and they didn't
they
always
didn't
know that they were going
understand there was
to
an
be
ending credit sequence.
the end credit
Yeah.
sequence. So they would sometimes bring up the lights, and then people would get up, and it was a lot of us at the beginning were confused about what to do at that point. Now we know you just stick around,
Yeah,
but,
but
Yeah.
that's learned behavior.
that is
So-
definitely learned behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault people for the first couple times with that.
Sure.
And even now, like, let's.
Especially if you're not like a huge super fan.
Yeah,
or
like
something,
someone
you
like
don't know
me,
that stuff.
right?
I don't care. That's
I never would have
understandable.
known if I didn't go with you guys.
All right.
I mean, the fact that I was sitting next to Weston during Endgame, you know, and you were like, okay, well, there's gonna be an end credit scene, so don't go. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Like I would have got up and I would have left and I would have missed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if it weren't for you, I would have had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that one of those things where it's like,
Yeah, trust me, when I first started going, like, I actually did not see the first 2 or 3 in the theater, but after that, I've seen all of them in theaters. So it was a learned behavior as well.
Yeah.
Like, actually, when I got them on DVD, like, I remember the original Iron Man, I did not realize that there was anything after the credits at first. It wasn't until, like, my 3rd or 4th watch through, I was actually with a friend, and we were distracted doing something else, and then I looked over and was like, is there more to this?
like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Right.
No, I get it.
So,
Those people that walk in front of you like 15 times during the movie.
oh my
oh
gosh.
yeah,
yes.
if you gotta get up that much, just go like sit at the end of the aisle in the back. end of the aisle in the
Yeah.
back, or just don't go at all.
Just the general. If you like, obviously, some people have to get up.
Yeah.
That's not even
Like sometimes it happens.
not even
you
past
know?
that. But
Yeah.
like, if you're not there to actually watch the movie, just stay home.
Mm-hmm.
That's my humble opinion, I guess.
No, I get it.
If you're there
completely, yeah.
to just be on your phone, if you're there to just be obnoxious, if you're there to just make out with your girlfriend, saw that comment there. Yeah, I agree. But like, stay home. I don't need that.
Please.
Just let me enjoy my time that I spent, $5 to $12.
I don't know. Prices have also been increasing. I've been to places where it's like $20.
For a movie?
Yeah, it was.
Bigger cities, nicer theaters, it's way more expensive, especially opening night.
So this is totally off topic, but the nicest theater I've been to is actually in Milford.
It's decent.
They have recliners, dude.
Yeah.
You get recliners. It's awesome. I love it. But anyway, that's totally different. That's off topic. Is there anything else you guys want to add to this, or should we?
We seem very harsh, but I don't know. It's just because we actually care.
I actually do care. I go to a movie to see the movie, and
Kanye cares.
And yeah, no, Jordan.
No, he doesn't. No, he actually doesn't.
Enjoy your time at the theater.
Yeah, seriously, just be respectful. That's the big thing. So,
All right. Well, Weston.
all right. So for me, mine was actually more. It's different from what I would normally do for this. I just figured I'd do something a little different. So
Okay.
mine's actually going to be a top list. Okay. So my question here is, what fictional technologies do you wish were real? This could be from video games, from movies, from TV, etc., or just your own imagination. I don't want this to be anything that's like huge in world breaking.
Huge.
But like I'm avoiding things like instant teleportation. I'm avoiding things
All the
like
good stuff.
infinite energy and stuff like that. But we can have some fun stuff. I'll go like low to mid, even like upper mid, if you will, or lower upper maybe. I'll give you some leeway on this because perspectives, of course.
When
right?
you say infinite energy, if I were to say like the blasters from Star Wars that never have to be reloaded, does that count? Do you know how much fun it would be to go target shooting and never have to buy ammo and never have to like reload your gun?
You see, I'll leave this up to your own imagination.
I
okay?
want
You
It
can
depends
kind
on
of
what Star
interpret
Wars,
it.
because they, well, just specifically Mandalorian, that one gun jammed.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen Mandalorian yet, so.
I don't
All right,
know.
we're gonna stop
Okay.
the stream.
Okay.
We've got things to do.
We're going to be busy for a while here. We got a couple seasons to get through now.
Is it a couple seasons?
It's to you.
Yeah, there's two
Oh.
of them.
It's
Okay.
fantastic, man.
All right.
That's where Star Wars gets good.
Okay.
We'll get into
Yeah.
that conversation. some
That
other
is a
time.
conversation. All right, so a few of them that I have for mine, okay? One of them that I've always wanted since I was a young wee lad, because I saw this on Star Wars Episode 1, believe it or not. The water breathing mask that they use when they go down
Yes.
to the Gungan
those,
area.
Those are cool.
That was freaking sweet, and I've always wanted one.
Didn't they call it rebreathers? They called
Was
it
it
rebreathers.
rebreathers?
I think it was a
Which
rebreathers. What they called
rebreathers
it.
are kind of a thing, just not like that.
But not at that level.
Yeah,
I want
that was-
something at that level.
That was awesome. I
right?
do agree.
You just
yeah.
put it on, you kind of bite
Yep.
down on it, and then you can breathe underwater indefinitely. I want one of those.
Yeah, that'd be
You
cool.
know, I wish it was real. Even if I don't go down myself and use it, that would totally revolutionize, of course, the scuba diving industry. But it's just so cool.
So you're talking just like the little things like that, then? Okay,
Like, it
so
can be something bigger though, because I have some bigger things here too. Like another one for mine is an automatic interpreter, like something you could put in your ear that as you hear somebody speak in another language, it would interpret it to the language that you're
don't they
accustomed
have
to hear.
that?
Not at a very high level yet.
I was like, I
They're
thought the
working
phones
on
could
it.
do that even. Like,
To some level, but they are not perfect. They don't get the cultural references.
No.
I want something that understands like what they're actually saying behind the words.
It's not
just a
instantaneous either.
hard
okay,
translation, like
But-
okay,
an actual cultural interpretation. You know what
That'd be
I'm saying?
nice, yeah.
That's something that I would like. They have something like that on like Doctor Who, where if you've been in the TARDIS, it automatically interprets it for you in your brain, and you understand what they're saying and how they're saying it. But I want a piece
Okay.
of technology that would actually do that. Like, I don't care if it's something you put in your ear or whatever, but it understands the nuances
Yeah.
underneath what's going on.
Now, when you say like fictional items, are we gonna limit it to just technology, or could it be a magical thing?
I don't know. I would
Because
stick to
I would
technology.
stick to technology because magic's an entire field. Okay.
Because I was just like the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter would be so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Just drape something over you and no one can see you at all. I would love that.
Sure.
Mm.
Like, can you imagine the fun stuff you'd be able to do if no one could see you? Like that's a
I
topic
get
for a
that.
whole other. Like, what would you do if you were invisible for a day? But like that,
Right.
that's a whole nother
Oh, boy.
can of worms
All
right
right.
there. But that'd be fun too.
Sure.
Another thing that I want, just because I'm, you know me, I'm fat and I'm lazy. Okay.
Oh my god,
I'm
same.
right
the-
there, man.
Same.
I want those hovering mobile recliners you see in Wall-E.
From Wall-E. Yeah.
I want those. Okay.
Preferably not being that fat.
With, I know, right? But I want one of those. You know, one that I can take around. It'll take me wherever I want to go. You know, I want
yeah.
one of those.
That'd be really cool.
That's my personality right
You
there.
know, we're getting there though. Like we are getting
slowly
to that
but
point.
surely. But this, you see, this is me trying to like reach out to all the developers out there that may watch this someday that are just like, I need some inspiration. These are what we want. Okay, if you're watching this in the future, this is what, or
Have
even
you-
right now, this is what we really want.
Have you seen, and this is kind of in the same realm, I guess, but not quite, the mobile refrigerator that you press a button on your phone and it brings you, like it brings the fridge to you wherever you're at in the house, and like you can just open it up and pull out the drink and it'll go back to its charger. It's almost like a Roomba, but it's a refrigerator. It just brings you drinks and snacks wherever
Just get a
you're
mini
at.
fridge and put it on a Roomba.
Oh my, that's big brain.
That's
big brain.
You don't gotta buy anything.
well, you got to get the fridge, you got to get the Roomba.
That's
but,
true. I mean, if you have those things, though,
Right.
I don't know.
So, another one that I would really love, you've seen this in a bunch of sci-fi movies, is holographic computer projections.
That was one of mine that I would say.
That'd be really
So-
cool. Yeah.
I would love to have it to like maybe with like what Tony Stark did, where you could just like move those
Yep.
around, or even just the Star Wars level, where when you communicate with somebody, you can see them. You know,
No
that would
matter
be
where you're
huge.
at in the room.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool for sure.
I think that would be really sweet to be able to work with.
Yeah.
And even just from like an engineering standpoint, that'd be phenomenal to be able to like put that up there and actually work with it. Now I know the Microsoft HoloLens. Have you heard of that before?
I have.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have a level of that, but it's not there. You know, it's just not,
It's not
quite
quite there.
there. And I would love to see it actually reach that level.
I want just like hologram technology to develop more in the first place and become cool. You know, I know there is that, but not really. Not like in movies, but I think the number one. This is a little bit world breaking, I guess. So this is pushing the envelope, but I love hard light
Okay.
technology. So, like from it's like holographic creates a light, but it becomes rigid.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
So you can push things with light.
kind of. So like, I'm thinking of instances like Halo. The Forerunners used hard light technology. They would activate the hard light bridge. You could drive across it.
Yes. Okay. I got
So
you.
that-
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
But
I get what
really,
you're saying.
So like
That'd be awesome.
Right.
your Omni tool and Omni blade from Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
Would hard light kind of be like a lightsaber then? Like that'd be a.
I feel like that's a different
It's
category.
different though. Like it's not. It's
A
not
lightsaber is more of just
a power
hot
source
energy
of energy.
source.
You know, hard light is just
It's light made solid.
light made rigid solid.
Okay.
But an Omni tool would be really cool because you could just boom connect to the internet, do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that stuff would for sure be cool. Yeah.
Hard light would be my number one for sure.
See, my
That would
first thought, like I said earlier, was be like the guns from Star Wars, like never have to jam. But you said world breaking, and like, can you imagine if the United States military had something like that, but then no one else did? They're using traditional stuff. Like that, obviously, would be ridiculous. You know?
What if when you use it, you shoot like a stormtrooper though?
Well, then they
Oh.
lose every single war.
Exactly. So it's okay.
So you see, it balances out. Is it really world breaking? You'd go back to the old technology anyway.
But what if you shot like a clone trooper, which never missed?
No, we're
No.
just talking.
Okay.
Also,
stormtroopers.
wasn't it Obi-Wan that said that the shots were far too accurate for sand people? So, like, implying that stormtroopers were kind of accurate at times, so maybe it would balance itself
or
out,
that
right?
sand people just weren't accurate at all.
Yeah, they
God,
were
can you
bad
imagine?
shots.
Can you imagine if sand people were worse than stormtroopers? That's a whole nother conversation, I think.
Does
but-
that mean that they shoot their own allies? I mean, if stormtroopers miss every shot, so what's beyond missing every shot? Isn't that shooting your own allies, or shooting yourself, one or the other?
We've moved away, guys.
Okay, so let's get back. Let's get back. All right, another technology I would love to have: auto sizing clothes. Okay.
Oh my god.
That would be
Clothes
ridiculous.
that will like automatically resize to whoever's wearing it. This I actually thought up today just because I was working with my parents on the deck.
Okay.
Okay. I was working. I've actually lost a little bit of weight recently. But apparently it was just the wrong amount. My shorts slid down a little ways, and they completely ripped.
Oh,
okay?
no.
It was terrible.
Oh,
terrible.
no.
Good times.
So yeah, that was so much fun. But I would love clothes that just out of size to where I currently am.
I gotta say though, that is incredibly world breaking because your textile industry is gone.
See, I don't know if it was. I mean, it could be major world breaking. I wasn't
You don't
sure.
make sizes. What's up with all of the rest of
But I mean,
your
your inventory goes down?
you would still sell the same.
Exponentially.
Well,
It
your
would still
inventory would
be-
go down, but you'd still sell as many products because, like,
There's-
you know, instead of buying like
the
let's
waste
say a
that you have
large,
now.
let's just like a small, medium, large, it would just be three.
You have
of
a
the-
one size
Yeah, it'd be
that
a-
fits all.
So I almost feel like you'd still be selling the same amount of clothes. I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna be like
Going
oh,
forward,
well,
it'd be fine, but the waste that it creates now, and the loss of money of product right now, would be
See, but
terrible.
would you take the loss of product and the hit at this very moment for a future of
It
self-sizing
depends on
clothes?
if this technology goes to is just one person developed it and has it, and then the rest of the industry is screwed.
Well, I would assume that this would be like something that everybody could then utilize.
Yeah.
This would be like an open source technology.
Oh,
Whoever
God,
gave that thing up
can you
missed some
imagine?
opportunities.
So you said open source. My first thought is like, can you imagine the bugs that'd be in that? Like one person codes something wrong, all of a sudden your shirt just disintegrates while you're out in public. Like just like
Or it kills you. Like it
It
just
kills-
it gets
squeezes
so
you.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would take some strict control. I would agree on
Yeah.
The lawsuit's
Oh,
there.
The people that would hack into it,
that. Ooh.
like military
Dude,
uniforms,
assassins
going.
would have a heyday.
Oh my God! You just like point a remote at someone, be like, "Well, you're dead."
Hack into your clothing and it just constricts you to death.
See, I don't really know that it would be necessarily that world breaking, but I guess it could be if you think about it at a very large level.
I feel like
See, I'm not
anything-
quite as
I'm going
dark
deeper, I
as
think. I'm going
you
deeper.
guys are.
I feel like anything, if you think about it in the right
Enough.
way, would be world breaking. No,
I
no
agree.
matter what. Like there's a way to utilize anything to make it terrible.
Hard light would be incredibly world breaking.
Oh, yeah,
like,
can you
that
imagine-
would revolutionize everything.
Dude, bulldozers would not be a thing. You just shoot a beam of light at the building, knock it down that way. That'd be so cool, though.
So let's keep moving here. Another one that I had, by the way, these are not in any specific order.
No,
I did
for
not
sure.
rank these by any
Yeah,
means.
Yeah.
for sure.
Another one that I really want that it would completely revolutionize many industries, but I don't think it'd be completely world breaking. Nerve gear, like what they have from Sword Art Online, it would completely revolutionize the gaming industry. But okay, for those of you who don't know, that is a full deep dive immersive virtual reality.
Did you say Nerf?
Nerve.
gear.
Oh, I thought you said Nerf, and I was like, we
No,
have
no,
Nerf
no,
guns
Nerf.
now. Like
So-
my first thought was just like the foam bullet.
So
Okay.
you would
No.
literally be your mind would be transported to this video game.
Oh,
you would
like
be in it.
like is it Ready Player One? That movie?
Kind of,
It's
yeah.
kind
Okay.
of like that, but this is at a deeper level
Even
where
Okay.
you're
more
not
deeper.
even
So you're
running
not
on your.
You're not conscious of your physical real body.
Like
you're
Avatar.
completely
Kinda, yeah.
in your
Like Avatar,
game.
then,
Yeah.
basically. Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool. Yeah.
So
It's so incredibly dangerous.
it would be.
Can you? Oh,
But
dude.
could you imagine being able to go into those different worlds?
It'd be amazing.
It'd be so cool to be able to experience these fictional.
But if you
worlds
watch
in a new
anime,
way.
you know it all goes downhill from there.
Right? You get that one guy who puts the microwave in them and fries your brains. All right. So another one that I really this was actually something that I heard from my from a friend. Okay, and I agree. It would be kind of cool to have car paint that changes colors based on what you want it to be. This is actually from the Green Hornet movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the end they changed the color of the car and then
Nope.
they escaped? You never watched that. Okay.
Yeah, I got
You know
it.
what I'm talking
Yep.
about? I think that'd be kind of cool to have, and that way, if you change your mind on like what you want it to look
mean,
like,
You could put that on anything, even
It-
even your
like
clothing, your
houses,
shoes, your
etc.
houses, your whatever.
That's it. Yeah, Nike just has one pair of shoes that they sell forever, but you can change the colors and customize it.
to where you want it. So I think that'd be pretty cool to have.
That would be very cool. Yeah.
But once again, that might be revolutionary in its own right. But like
Most
I said, if
likely.
you think deeply, anything would be.
It'd be like a chameleon, but for your clothes, obviously.
Mhm.
Camouflage would be the best.
Well, then you would never be able to find it. It would just disappear.
Well, no, because you can set the color. So, I mean, you'd be able to make it like a neon yellow or like a highlighter color, while it's in your drawer. You put it on, and you go out in the woods, and you just have it match.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yes, like you can just have it match what's behind you or something. I don't know.
Just get that hoodie that you zip up.
No, just get like a morph suit. Like the,
yeah.
like the green morph suits, just walk.
Canucks green men.
So... That
aren't green
Dude,
anymore.
those would be a hit at the club. Can you imagine,
Right?
like, people out dancing, their clothes are flashing different colors?
Hey, it would be an interesting sight, wouldn't it?
That'd be another one that I feel like just one remote press, and you could just screw... Like, can you imagine, like, you're at a stadium, right? There's 60,000 people watching a football game or something, and one person's able to get in and control everyone's shirt color. Just... start flashing at different colors.
You just changed the jerseys of the people in the field.
You no longer know who's your ally and who's your enemy.
Hey, Randy, you got traded. Just you're over there.
Go to the other side. We don't want you anymore, Randy.
Poor Randy.
All right, another one. This is actually from Back to the Future Part 2, the food hydrator, where you put in that little pizza and it comes out looking like it's a freaking restaurant-style pizza.
Dude, that would be awesome. Can you imagine how much fatter I'd be if I had one of those? Like, let's be real.
Like, seriously, it's like the opposite of a microwave, but it does it in the speed of a microwave.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so nice, and it would also help with food preservation and other such activities, so that'd be helpful, but I think that'd be a really cool one.
They could do that to Disney's head.
No, Jordan, no.
I think that defeats the purpose of why he has his head there.
Well, no, because it'd be better preserved than on ice. Just put it in the machine and boop, there he is.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I don't know. Another one that I came up with was wheels that adapt to the terrain that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're driving, so if you go across a pothole, it'll automatically adapt so that you don't actually feel the pothole. Like the wheels themselves will adapt to it, and if you're like going off the roads, they'll adjust and become off-terrain tires. I feel like I've seen that in a movie somewhere, but I can't remember the movie for the life of me. Like, so I'm saying like
off the top of my
remember.
head, Tron Legacy had wheels that
Completely resized
that
like
were
that?
like race wheels, flats that turned into rugged off-wheel when they were on that.
See,
train.
I've never
But
seen.
I don't know. Whatever.
Never seen Tron.
I
Movie guy,
I
sorry.
feel like I've seen the movie with it. I can't remember the movie though.
I'm sure
don't
there's
think it was
plenty.
Tron, but
I'm sure there's plenty.
It could have at least been inspired by that. And then this one's probably the most world-breaking one on my list, but this is just because I want them because they're so cool. Spider-Man's web shooters. I really want them just to experience like what that would do with them. Like, there's a lot of Batman technology out there that I would love, but Spider-Man's web shooters are just so cool. Let's be real.
I mean, they're cool,
you
but I
could
feel
not
like...
mass produce. There'd be so many issues.
Yeah, can you...
But
can you
imagine
imagine
how
the cleanup crew?
But no, like, imagine how that would change the entire, like, industrial side of the market.
Oh, I mean, that'd be cool,
Because
for sure.
Such strong threads that you can compact
The
so
prehensile
far.
strength is crazy.
Right?
But you'd have to make it permanent, though.
That'd be the hardest
Because
part
Spider-Man's
of it.
webbing dissolves after a certain amount of time.
See, I feel like you would need it to be that way, though,
You would
or else
have to.
every single city would just be covered in webs.
I mean,
Well, I mean...
Okay, I get most cities are dumps, so it's kind of like that anyways. But you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. Like, you imagine just walking downtown Minneapolis or something, and once you avoid all the fires and everything, there's just webs everywhere. You're like, okay, well, this place is a lot
It's the new
crappier
duct
than I thought. Yeah, just put their buildings back together with the webbing. There you go. That'd work.
But yeah, then a couple of honorable mentions I wanted, but I realized just how world-breaking they would actually be. One of mine was like I mentioned earlier, the healing foam from Aeon Flux, but where you just apply a little bit of foam to it and then completely heals any wound.
That'd be awesome.
or the similar. I don't know. I'm huge into Halo, but they in the comics, the novels, and everything, they have something called biofoam, which you get a wound or something. Your insides are all messed up. They literally just like shove it in the wound, and it fills your like cavity with this biofoam.
Isn't that kind of like what he That's
Kind
kind
of.
of the
It's
same
kind
thing,
of the
right?
same line.
But
Okay.
So
it's not an instant heal. It doesn't heal. It will keep you alive though.
Okay.
You see the one from Aeon Flux,
So,
like you put it on like a deep gash, something like that. They remove it and it's completely healed.
So not as world breaking as that, but something that
Okay.
would be like
It's,
really
so-
good, like militarily and stuff.
So, like, obviously, if someone were to shoot a 50 cal through you, like, it's not going to repair your stomach, right?
No,
You're not
no,
talking that, okay.
It would stop the bleeding, stop hemorrhaging, all of that stuff. But
Okay.
it wouldn't heal you.
Okay, I
It just
got you.
keeps you
Yep.
alive until you get to the
And
hospital.
Got you.
That would
Okay.
be pretty cool as well.
That would be really good.
And then my other honorable mention was I really want the sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who, but that's terrible. Just guys,
It's the most world breaking thing ever.
Exactly. That's the reason why I left that off. It's like I really want it, but it's world breaking. So that was an honorable mention because it's like it's not as world breaking as some of the others, like say the TARDIS itself, but it's still pretty bad in that regard because it cannot open any lock and also control pretty much any electronic. Weirdly,
A pocket
Ooh.
dimension. That's what I want.
The
Something that is-
skeleton key from Elder Scrolls. That's lockpick that never breaks. Can get into anything. The problem is though, you still would know how. You would need to know how to pick the lock, which that would be kind of a pain.
To an extent. Then you get to a key card door and you're like, what do I
Crap.
do?
exactly. It's kind of end of the line for you, you know.
The key card that gets into any key card door. Oh, that'd be the worst for hotels. Can you imagine, like, if that was a common thing? Because I know, like, I'm just thinking, you know, with my job, you know, working security at different places. Can you imagine the drunk idiots that would mistake the, like, one room for theirs or something? Oh, that would be... Okay, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea
It's
anymore.
something you couldn't mass produce, like we're saying.
That's not
Just
something that we
one,
can do anymore.
Just for you.
Just for me, I'd love it. But yeah, that can't be a thing for everybody. That'd be bad.
Yeah, that'd be really bad.
Once I said it, I kind of knew that it was time to stop that. So, yeah.
All right, so those are 10 of my or the top 10 technologies I would love to see that aren't like completely world breaking.
Sure.
They would, if you go think about them far enough, yes, they could be world breaking, but I think that's just about everything. So
Yeah, like I said, anything can be world breaking in a way if you
think deep enough
think.
about
Yeah,
it.
like you could take a hammer and be like, oh well, can you imagine if they just had like infinite hammers that they'd throw at people? Okay, you know, like you can think anything.
Okay, that's an interesting.
It'd be world breaking, right? You'd be breaking a lot, right? So
I love you, Jordan.
at least somebody does.
One person.
I'm always here for you.
Okay, good.
All right, so that's my top 10. Do you guys have anything you guys would love to see?
I gained I threw my stuff out there already, pretty much. That I
Okay.
thought up.
Yeah, I kind of was doing the same.
So I heard a couple of yours, solid ideas. So
Yeah. So
Interesting topic.
move on to the next topic.
let's move along.
Okay, so for the fourth one, since we don't have a fourth person here, I put out on Twitter and I was like, hey, we need a fourth topic. And there was one suggestion that I saw, and it was like, you know, future games that you're excited for. And my first thought was Pokemon. And then I started thinking, you know, it just kept branching off and off of that. Like, if you could be in the Pokemon universe, would you? But then I was like, okay, if you could have any Pokemon as a pet in this world, where there's like actual consequences, like if you said Charmander, his tail is going to be lighting things on fire. You know, it's like, think about it in this world. If you could have one as a pet, what would you pick if it had actual consequences? Because, I mean, Charizard would be huge. Or, you know, he's not like, you know, massive by any means, but I think he's like almost 6 feet tall. Can you, like a 6 foot tall dragon walking, he's not a dragon, walking through your house, you know? So I would almost think my first thought then would be Growlithe, because he's small, he's cute, he's like a puppy, but then also he could shoot flames out of his mouth. So if he gets mad at you, he starts barking, like, you know, someone walks in your house, he's gonna like murder him with flames. He's gonna cook him, right? Be like, how would you want your burglar? Like medium well, like whatever. But that's, you know, it's like
Charred.
like I'm just like kind of thinking like real world consequences. What would you pick?
I mean, the obvious one for me would be something that I can ride on the fly.
Yeah. Okay, so
You
like
know,
a
I mean, that
Pidgeot
would-
or something. But then would you want a massive bird like that in your house? Because you would have...
Well, it wouldn't be kept in my house.
Oh, you would just let it be out. It'd be an outdoor pet.
You do your fun. Don't poop on cars. You might kill someone. But, you know, there's really only one answer, Jordan. Party wiener.
Sorry, one more time?
Party wiener.
You say party wiener.
Party wiener.
And
There's only one answer.
There is.
You've never seen that meme, have you?
I have
haven't.
not. And now you said you wanted something you could write on, and then
No,
you say
no,
party
no.
wiener.
This one's
and
not that.
Okay.
No. Party wiener. That means Weedle.
Oh. See, you go, I want something I can write on. Party wiener. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, I said my obvious answer would be something I could write on the fly.
Okay.
But outside of that, there's only one real answer. Party wiener.
Okay.
Or Punchy Rock. He's pretty cool, too.
I mean, yeah, Geodude's cool. That one I knew.
Actually, I mean, if you really want one, it's Ditto.
Ditto would be really cool.
Ditto.
Because then you get
Right.
anything. But all right, so
Right.
should we exclude Ditto from this
I think we
conversation?
should.
Because
I think we
otherwise,
should.
otherwise you'd be like, hey, Ditto, like I want to fly today, so become a Dragonite and you're off. You know, like that. That seems kind of cheating. It'd be
Yeah, it
like,
is.
yeah, you're right. It's the obvious choice, but. And then I almost feel like we should exclude legendaries from this as well. So like no Mews, because I feel like Mew would be an awesome pet because he can kind of do anything almost. But
He's also adorable.
Or like
He's also adorable,
Celebi,
yes.
who controls time and stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So, like I said, Growlithe would be great, but then, like I said, you have the consequence of he could potentially fry a human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know.
I mean, well, that's... Voltorb or Electrode, infinite electricity?
That would be really cool. Just power your whole house.
I mean, you could think about that anyway, like, you want fire of any kind or something, maybe you work in a forge or a smelter, any fire Pokemon. You want water, infinite water source, any water Pokemon, you know? That kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking around here, you know, it'd be really cool to have a Lapras, but then, like, where would I keep the Lapras at my house, you know? Like, I mean, we live in an area with a ton of lakes and a ton of water, so that would be kind of fun. But, like, I don't need a fishing boat. I just
Spirit
go
Lake
out on my...
Monster.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Oh, dude, I'm just imagining. Can you imagine just taking a Lapras out onto Big Spirit and just be like, hey, sup, guys? I'm just here to watch fireworks with my Pokemon. Be like, dude, your boat's in my way. Lapras, just shoot it out. Use your water gun, you know?
See, I don't know. My favorite Pokemon's always been Arcanine. So I have
Okay,
small...
yeah. He's huge, though.
Exactly. You could ride him to work.
That'd be
He's fast too.
he is very fast, but I almost feel like I'm kind of on Dan's side with this. I'd want something I could fly.
You
And
can go a lot more places, you know?
yeah, so I would almost say Dragonite because he wouldn't start your house on fire. But
I get that.
and he also looks freaking derpy as all get out. I love it. Like I know on our Pixelmon server that I had back, you know, a few months ago, we would call every Dragonite their name by default was just Big Oof because he just looks like a big oof, right? Like that's his name. And I love it. He's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. So that would be an obvious choice for me as well, other than the fact that, you know, he's pretty big. I mean, if you're going to be able to ride on it and fly, you have to think about where you're going to store it. And I don't have the space to, you know, I can't have a giant dragon bigger than me walking around the house, you know? There's just no room for it.
Build
See-
a new house.
Build a new house just for the Pokemon. I can be on board with that.
I think you
So-
should get Snorlax and just like put him in a like
That's
a
basically
street,
me,
just in
though.
a street and let him sleep
Yes.
and just block the road
I concur.
for fun.
That would be a lot of fun, actually.
It would be a lot of fun.
Put it in front of the door of a business that you hate. Perfect.
Hey,
just-
you're
just-
closed today.
Just plop them right at that four-way stop out
Right.
by Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh.
stop. I mean, the traffic
Oh.
there's bad enough as is. Oh, man. I guess, you know, going back to the storage thing, though, so maybe we wouldn't have to worry about the size and stuff as much because it'd be in a Pokeball, too.
That's true. You could
True.
So are we going to include Pokeballs in this so that way the size, you know, because I always say size doesn't matter. So should we have Pokeballs for that?
Mm,
You're such a child. You were waiting forever to use that one, weren't you?
I actually just kind of thought of it as I was talking. But anyways,
All right.
so that's a thing that you could
that
take
brings
into
up some
consideration
other
as well.
issues. Can we catch anything in a Pokeball? Can we catch other people in a Pokeball?
No, you cannot have a slave.
I wasn't talking about slaves. I was just, you know, that could be really bad.
Can you imagine? Be like, I just think of like the Oblivion Guard. Stop! You violated the law. Throw a Pokeball at this guy and just like that's the new way to arrest people. Prisons are just like buildings filled with Pokeballs.
It's just a Pokemon Center. That's it.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, you know what? Time for your re-energizing nap. Dun dun da da da. Everyone's just back on the shelf. You know.
Yeah, dude. I feel tired. Just put me in a Pokeball. Put me in the healing thing. Take me out. I'm all good.
Dude, there's so many other consequences that we did not think of until just now. But no, so I'm thinking Dragonite, though, would have to be mine. If we're excluding legendaries, Dragonite would be up there. There's a few other ones that I would love, and I don't know why this is such a stupid answer. I've always really liked Shuckle. Like, he's just such a derpy Pokemon. I'm not saying I'd want him as a pet, but I could see where having a Shuckle just kind of around the house would be kind of funny. You know?
At first.
That's one thing. Jigglypuff would be great for anyone with, like, insomnia. You know, if you can't get to sleep at night, you get Jigglypuff, put you to sleep immediately, and you get, like, the best sleep of your life. And there's so many different things that if you think about it that way, too, you can kind of go along and think of different answers.
Yeah.
Because there's some Pokemon I would absolutely not want. You know, like some that just no way. Like, think about, is it like Haunter, right? And Gengar. They go in and like feed on your nightmares. Like they make you have nightmares and they feed off of them.
Well, you just send those to your enemy's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be like, hey, go play with Dan tonight. You know, whatever.
Hey, I mean, whatever works, right?
I mean, it would, but
It'd be really dark.
So I guess if I had to put one final answer on it, I would say I would probably have to pick
Dragonite.
Just because I mean, it's Big Oof, you know. I feel like I would get along really well with the Dragonite. I feel like it'd be fun to be like, you know what?
He's huge, you're huge.
I look dumb, he looks dumb.
I wasn't going to say it.
We were all thinking it, though, but, you know.
So, yeah, then I'm thinking more like practical uses, though, too, because you'd be able to, you know, fly anywhere, which would be great. Like, you know, that long road trip can you imagine? No more traffic jams. I just hop on Dragonite and be like, all right, dude, let's go. You know, we're going to go down to Atlanta this weekend because why not? I don't have to pay for gas. I just get you food.
Could also go with something like an Abra or those and do teleportation.
Oh,
you don't even have to drive.
That's a fair point.
Or you don't have to fly. You can just go straight there.
That's a fair point. But the thing with teleport, though, is it takes you to the last Pokemon Center you visited. So, like, it'd be like the last...
Only in the game.
No. So, in my mind, though, that would take you to the last place you recharge. So, I think sleeping, it would take you home. You know, it'd take you to the last place.
Still have all of your travel.
That's true.
Because you just have to drive one way. And you can immediately go home.
Drive one way, so I guess you'd have to rent a car because you're not...
Or just hitch a ride with somebody else, use public transportation, whatever.
I guess you could fly, technically, be like, yeah, I want to...
But I'm also assuming that they have the ability to teleport other places as well.
See, but I don't know, I know in the game they never really... You can use it to escape battles, so if you're in a bad situation, you could be like, yep, we're out. You know, and you can use it to get home, or use it to get to a Pokemon Center.
Or they run away from you in battles, so where do they go? It's not like they go to the last.
They just go like 10 feet. They go like 10 grass blocks that way, and you find it again. You know, it's like...
No, that's its brother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of its mini siblings.
Yeah.
So what would you guys, if you had to pick like just one definitive?
Since you already took like a flying one, I won't do that, but Electrode or Voltorb and just have infinite energy.
And then get a Tesla, so you can just constantly have it energizing your car.
And then just like siphon that off and sell it too.
Oh, you could make so much money.
So you make a lot of money.
So you're gonna like monopolize the energy industry with a Pokemon. That almost seems like slavery, then, doesn't it?
We don't talk about it.
We're
not gonna talk about the moral aspects. Okay. So
I'll feed him. It'll be nice.
What do you feed an Electrode, anyways?
I don't know.
Metal? Batteries?
I don't know.
Like here's a couple double A's. You know,
it feeds on its own electricity. I have no idea.
Let's see.
Make sure it doesn't blow up.
Ooh, self-destruct.
Maybe we'll stick with Voltorb. If Voltorb doesn't have a mouth, I don't have to feed it.
That's actually, that's a fair point. You're right.
Big brain right there.
You know what? I might go with the Alakazam because they can do their teleport, but they can also have telekinesis. So I can just have them like move things to me, and I don't even have to get up anymore.
Alakazam, clean my room. Everything just kind of goes back to its right spot.
So powerful.
set up the podcast. You know, pulls the table out, puts the chairs here, plugs the microphone. That'd be useful.
Oh, if I have heavy lifting to do, moves it.
See, I like your teleportation thing. I would still have to go with the flying though. I'd still go with Dragonite because you can't really hover with teleportation unless it's like constantly teleporting you. Which at that point,
Oh,
like,
just teleport to the sky and just do skydiving.
that would be fun.
And
Dude, I
then
wanna go
when you get really
skydiving so
low,
bad.
it just teleports you back to the ground and you're safe.
Until it forgets, and then it's over.
It's like, oh, this is so mean, but that just kind of reminds me of, this is totally off the rails, but I went to my buddy's house one time, and this was so petty and so mean, but I jumped off of a mountain in Oblivion and saved it while I was in the air. So anytime he loaded the game, he would fall to his death and die. Like, he would just die immediately. And so he had to start a new character, and I kind of felt bad, but at the same time, it was funny because he was getting really, really mad.
You are a jerk.
You are a jerk.
Hey, I was in middle school, man. Like, I've grown up a little bit since then. I wouldn't do that now. Now I'd save it to the cloud. I'd back up your save, and then I'd do it. Just to make you mad, but then you could get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That was before cloud saves. But anyway, so yeah, I would pick Dragonite. You would pick Voltorb, and then you would pick Alakazam, is what you said. I like how we all picked Gen 1.
That's the
Well,
real
it's the best
generation
gen.
right there.
See, I love Gen 2. I love Gen 3. And then even the newest one, like with Sword and Shield, I guess I can think of a couple from that. Like Dreepy is really kind of cool. I like Dreepy. He's a dragon ghost type. Like, that's awesome, you know. That'd be cool. But I can't really think of, like, the real world benefits to having a Dreepy, I guess, you know? Other than the fact that he's a dragon, so I guess you could still technically fly, like, but he doesn't have wings, so, you know, it'd be...
He should just drink some Red Bull. He'll have wings.
Oh, man. Okay. That's respectable. So if that's the case, then just get a Snorlax and give him Red Bull. You get a flying tank, dude.
He's still asleep.
He's still asleep.
Okay. I feel like I'm actually more like a Snorlax than anything now that I think about it. Just always sleeping and hungry.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
Because I really want to go eat food. And I just ate before you guys got here, and I'm already hungry again.
It's a lifestyle.
It's bad, dude. Do you know what else is bad? That we have to end this episode at some point. So, I think this
It's all
is
good. I ordered pizza for 8:30, so.
Dude, we should have a E3 stream.
When is it?
I don't remember the exact day. I think it's like June 13th or something like that, but we can look into it. I don't remember. It's that weekend, I think, because I think the 14th is Monday.
That's Trevor's wedding, so.
Oh, that's true. God dang it, Trevor. Had to get married. Okay, so
How dare you?
How dare
Come
you
on,
get
man.
married?
Come on.
So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching episode 3 of Uncalled For -1, making it 3.
Self-titled episode.
Self-titled.
So is next episode like our, you know, they have golden birthdays, is like our golden episode, Uncalled For episode 4?
Sure.
Sure. We'll take it.
We can celebrate.
Are you
It'd be-
bringing cake?
I mean, I'd eat it.
Well, you have to bring it to share.
That's true.
Then
We're
no,
expecting
we're,
this now.
We're not going to
We're
celebrate
expecting
then.
this now.
If that's
There
the
will be
case.
food.
There will be food that Jordan is providing for us.
No.
I approve of this.
I don't.
Yep.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Like I said, this is Uncalled For, streamed on Twitch every single
-1.
Monday night at twitch.tv/Huge Media Studios. And then these will be posted on YouTube at youtube.com/Huge Media. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Been an absolute pleasure having you guys here. Anything you'd like to say before we close out?
Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye-bye.